You always see police officers equipped with guns and safety gear, but have you ever thought about what would happen if they were to lose those items to a suspect? How do you think these brave cops defend themselves in the face of danger, often risking their lives? And what about the harsh reality that sometimes these encounters result in the loss of life on the criminal side? Join us as we delve into some of the most unsettling instances where criminals launched attacks on law enforcement officers, ultimately resulting in the demise of the criminals. Make sure to watch this video till the end, because the #1 incident on our list will leave you wondering what criminals can do to evade arrest. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 5. The Lake County State's Attorney's Office recently released a video showing a fatal police-involved shooting that occurred on July 26, 2018 in Lakemore, Illinois.
What are you doing parked back here? Do you happen to have a driver's license on you that I could see? It's suspicious that you're back here. This doesn't normally happen.
The guy tells her he doesn't have a license.
I just have to make sure, you don't have any warrants or anything, which I'm sure you don't. Do you have anything in the vehicle with your name on it?
That's when all hell breaks loose.
No!
He pulls a gun on the officer.
The video captures the struggle between Lakemore police officer Brianna Tedesco and Kenneth Martell, a murder suspect. As Tedesco approached Martell's parked SUV, he pointed a gun at her, but it failed to fire. This led to a violent altercation between the two, with Tedesco pleading for her life. Officer Anthony Loiacono arrived at the scene and fired a fatal shot at Martell when he raised both hands, each holding a weapon. Martell, who was wanted for the murder of an elderly man in Pennsylvania, was found to have drugs in his system during the autopsy. Lake County State's Attorney Michael Nerheim conducted an investigation and determined that the shooting was justified. He stated that both officers feared for their lives and commended them for their handling of the situation. The release of the video was intended to provide transparency to the public. The video reveals that Tedesco encountered Martell in his SUV with its lights off. She activated her emergency lights and cameras before approaching the vehicle. Martell provided a false name, claiming to be from Pennsylvania, while Tedesco ran a background check. Unbeknownst to her, Martell had committed a brutal murder and was wanted by the authorities. As Officer Loiacono rushed to the scene, he overheard the radio communication and suspected that Martell was providing false information. When Tedesco confronted Martell about the discrepancy in his identification, he attempted to distract her by handing her a piece of paper and swiftly grabbed one of his guns. Tedesco bravely fought to wrestle the gun away from Martell, which allowed Loiacono to arrive and take control of the situation. After firing at Martell, Loiacono called for backup and an ambulance. Following the incident, a search in the nearby woods uncovered a cache of weapons, stolen property, and identification cards belonging to the murder victim in Pennsylvania. Nerheim's report concluded that the officers had no choice but to defend themselves, as a retreat was not a viable option given the proximity and the armed state of Martell. Number 4. A fatal police shooting took place in Naperville, Illinois, when a man allegedly attacked a veteran police officer with a hatchet during a traffic stop.
Naperville Police Chief Jason Aries. The information, audio, and video you're about to see are intended to provide details, as we currently understand them, of an officer involved. A Naperville police officer was conducting a traffic stop when, approximately 12 minutes into the stop, an uninvolved vehicle.
The suspect, identified as Edward C. Saman of Naperville, was shot and killed by the officer. According to Naperville police, the officer was conducting a routine traffic stop when an unrelated vehicle pulled up beside the stopped car. Suddenly, a man swiftly exited the vehicle and approached the officer with a hatchet in hand. The officer, a 22-year veteran of the police department, was equipped with a body-worn camera, which captured the confrontation and the suspect wielding the hatchet. In response to the imminent threat, the officer discharged his firearm, striking the suspect. The injured suspect was immediately transported to a local hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. The officer, fortunately, did not sustain any injuries during the incident. The motive behind the attack remains unclear. The brother of the deceased attacker expressed confusion about the events and stated that investigators had visited their home to gather information. He offered his apologies to all those affected by the incident. Following the shooting, the area around Route 59 and Deal Road was cordoned off by law enforcement. Squad cars, large police vehicles, and officers in protective gear were present at the scene. Authorities used a robot to inspect the suspect's vehicle and retrieved multiple bags and suitcases, the contents of which weren't disclosed. Number 3. In this shocking incident captured on surveillance video, an NYPD officer was brutally attacked on a Bronx street. The incident occurred in broad daylight when the officer and her partner were conducting inspections of illegal smoke shops. The assailant, wearing jeans and a hoodie, approached the officers from behind and struck the female officer in the head with a bottle, completely unprovoked. The attack continued as the assailant grabbed the officer's hair and delivered several punches to her face and body. The officer's partner immediately intervened and tried to restrain the assailant, but he also became a target of the attacker's aggression. 2 other individuals, identified as New York City Sheriff's officers working with the NYPD, joined in the struggle to subdue the assailant. Meanwhile, the injured officer managed to escape the immediate danger by running between parked cars, only to return to the scene to support her partner. Law enforcement acted swiftly, apprehending the assailant, identified as Jose Garcia, aged 45. Garcia was charged with assault, obstruction of government administration, resisting arrest, menacing, weapon possession, and harassment. The injured officer was transported to St. Barnabas Hospital, where she was expected to recover from her injuries. In this case, the surveillance video played a crucial role in identifying the assailant and providing evidence for the charges filed against him. It captured the entire incident, allowing investigators to gather crucial details and build a strong case against Garcia. Now, this was another incident in which a female officer was attacked. We have discussed another such incident on number 5. Do you believe that female officers are more susceptible to attacks by criminals? Please share your thoughts in the comment section. And keep watching, as the number 1 case on our list is sure to blow your mind. Number 2. In a devastating turn of events, 22-year-old Christian Glass lost his life during an encounter with law enforcement that was supposed to provide assistance during a potential mental health crisis.
10th, Glass called 911 after crashing his car. He told dispatch he was stuck and needed help getting out.
Hello, 911.
I'm in a vehicle. My vehicle got stuck in a really bad way.
About 3 minutes into the call, Glass began referencing skinwalkers, which are witches in the Navajo culture. Glass tells the 911 operator that she is his light after he's been frightened by a sound outside.
The incident took place on June 10, 2022, capturing national attention and raising concerns about police response to individuals in distress. It all began when Glass called 911 after crashing his car and finding himself stuck in Silver Plume, Colorado. In the call, Glass expressed his need for help, but it quickly became apparent that he was experiencing significant mental distress. He made cryptic references to skinwalkers, which hold significance in Navajo culture, and suggested his belief in their existence. Throughout the call, Glass exhibited a mix of fear, vulnerability, and gratitude towards the 911 operator. He spoke of a recent spiritual awakening and mentioned having weapons in his vehicle, including 2 knives, a hammer, and a rubber mallet. However, he reassured the operator that he would throw them out of the window upon the arrival of law enforcement. Officers from the Clear Creek County Sheriff's Office and other agencies responded to the case. For over an hour, they attempted to coax Glass out of his vehicle, all while expressing concerns about the reported weapons. Glass, on the other hand, repeatedly voiced his fear and reluctance to exit the car, mentioning a mental hospital as a possible solution. While officers threatened to break the window if it didn't comply, they ultimately decided against it, as they believed there was no immediate danger or crime being committed. They continued to implore Glass to step out peacefully so they could ensure his safety and have a conversation with him. Things took a surprising turn when Glass grabbed a knife as officers broke down his passenger side window. An officer fired multiple shots, tragically ending Glass's life. The Clear Creek County Sheriff's Office later claimed that Glass had been argumentative and uncooperative during the incident and had attempted to stab an officer, justifying the use of lethal force. However, Glass's family vehemently disputes these claims. They maintain that their son, though frightened, posed no threat to the officers and was simply too scared to exit the vehicle. They are now calling for justice and demanding criminal charges against the responsible officer. The shooting is still under investigation by the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, seeking to determine the truth behind the events leading to Glass's untimely death. The grieving family believes that their son's killing was unjust and that the officer's actions were a gross abuse of power. Number 1. In a shocking series of events near Phoenix, Arizona, body camera footage captured 2 consecutive officer-involved shootings.
Let's go! He's down, watch his head!
Before running into more officers in another.
Hey, don't shoot me! We won't shoot you, keep your hands up!
At the time, an arrest warrant for Hearn was also out from the city of Mesa.
It's got some police on the search warrant! Open the front door!
Incidents unfolded on January 6 in Scottsdale, when law enforcement officials were attempting to serve a warrant on 37-year-old Kenneth Hearn, who was wanted for an alleged sexual assault that had occurred in October 2022. Additionally, Hearn had an existing arrest warrant from the city of Mesa. As officers approached Hearn's residence with a search warrant, a woman and a small child were seen safely exiting the premises in the body camera video. The officers called out to Hearn, urging him to surrender and follow their commands. Hearn, in response, pleaded not to be shot, while officers reassured him that they had no intention of shooting as long as he kept his hands up. To ensure their safety and gather more information, officers deployed a drone into the apartment. However, moments later, Hearn opened fire, striking a Scottsdale sergeant through the wall. In an attempt to neutralize the threat, an officer near the front door fired back at Hearn but missed. Taking advantage of the chaos, Hearn managed to escape from the second story of the building. The following day, Hearn was located by Phoenix officers in Tempe. Body camera footage from the second incident shows police ordering Hearn to put his hands up. However, Hearn disregarded their commands and pulled out a weapon, prompting an officer to open fire. The officers quickly recovered Hearn's weapon and provided medical assistance, but unfortunately, Hearn succumbed to his injuries after being transported to the hospital. So now, tell us in the comment section which encounter was more intense. If you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.